Going on in the village here.
Traveler, I advise caution. A corruption has gripped Stonelore Grove, turning the wildlife aggressive and spreading an impurity unlike anything our circle has ever seen. Nature itself has fallen out of balance.
What sort of corruption are we talking about here?
That is what I hope to determine. The Archdruid sent me to investigate, but it was all I could do to avoid the once docile creatures of the grove. I found a few pockets of corruption that must be cleansed, but I need another druid to assist me.
So you need another druid? Can be anyone?
Really, I just need another set of hands. Here, let me mark your map. I'll cast the cleansing spell, then you burn out the impurity. That will temporarily restore the balance while we search for the source. The circle will compensate you, of course.
Oh, I'll help you.
Let's find a few concentrated areas of corruption. My spells will cleanse the impurities, then you burn them. Hopefully we can determine the source of the corruption before this malady spreads to the rest of the island. Just keep your guard up.
Was Stonelore Grove really that dangerous?
It wasn't always. It used to be one of the safest locations on the island. In fact, my ancestors deemed the grove sacred when they first arrived. Now the corrupted wildlife attacks for no reason, and some of my fellow druids have been afflicted.
Okay. What else can you tell me about the corruption that's afflicted the grove?
Not much, unfortunately. I noticed its effects a short time ago. Usually docile creatures turning aggressive. A strange blight spreading through the plants and trees. I brought my concerns to the Archdruid, who initially thought I was overreacting.
So how'd you convince the Archdruid to let you investigate?
I'm not sure anyone has ever convinced Archdruid Agathe of anything. But she couldn't deny that something strange was happening in the grove. She ordered me to look into it and bring my findings back to the Circle Elders.
And what did the elders say?
Nothing. I haven't gone back yet. Until I determine if the corruption can be cleansed and find the source, I don't actually have anything new to report. Well, except that now the corruption has spread to some of my fellow druids.
Wait, the druids? Druids have been afflicted then?
Just that. They have become as hostile as the rest of the afflicted wildlife. We may have to deal with any corrupted druids we meet.
Uh-oh.
But with your help and the blessing of the true way, we'll soon have a solution to present to the Circle Elders.
The true way? Remember, I'm not a druid here.
I suppose you would call it our doctrine, our religion. The true way represents a life guided by natural principles and the value and willfulness of nature. All of nature comes from Ifra, and the druids are the arbiters of Ifra's will.
Yifre?
Have you never heard of Ifra where you come from?
Yifre?
The storyteller? The god of song and forest? The spirit of the now? Ifra formed the frame upon which nature was woven. He gave rise to the rules of life on Nirn. His way is the true way.
You're a priest of Yifre then.
I am a druid of the Stonelore Circle. I am a teacher, a healer, a counselor, as well as a steward of the natural world. I hear the voice of Ifra and his earthbones, and I do my best to be his advocate. Natural principles guide my every action.
I wonder how this would change if I was a wood elf, follow the green. When did the druids arrive in High Isle?
Oh, that was early in the First Era. After struggling against the Dureni hegemony, our ancestors came to this archipelago because of its connection to Ifra. When they arrived, our druidic circle deemed Stonelore Grove to be a sacred site.
And Druidic Circle? Is that your village or something else?
Not to be confused with our ritual circles. I mean the druids of the archipelago all belong to one of 3 distinct subgroups. You would probably call it a sect. Those who hold to the same circle share common beliefs and approaches to Ifra's will.
Okay, tell me about these 3 circles then.
The druids of this grove belong to the Stonelore Circle. We revere nature, but believe that all cultures have a place here. Some of the High Isle folk refer to us as the friendly druids. We rarely evangelize, letting our work speak for itself.
And then the other 2?
You'll probably encounter the Eldertide Circle in your wanderings. Be careful. They are overtly hostile to the civilized residents of High Isle. As for the Firesong Circle, even I don't know much about them. They never leave the island of Iphalon.
Hold on. Though that's probably the volcano island. Cleansing the corruption.
Burn it with cleansing fire after I cast my spell.
Barely anything here to like attack us.
The corruption spreads throughout the grove. First the plants, then the animals, and now even some druids have been afflicted.
Where are they? Like there's nothing here that's really fighting us. Some fawns. Oh, there it is. Corrupted deer?
The corruption spreads quickly. Burn the corpse while I cast a cleansing spell.
We are the spirit of the grove. We are the evergrowth, and this druid seeks to help, while another has unbalanced the true way. Aid us, mortal, before the nature that sustains this grove collapses.
How disconcerting. The evergrowth hasn't spoken in generations.
You okay?
Pardon that display. I've never been forcibly taken over by a spirit of nature before. I wasn't sure if the corruption was connected to the evergrowth, but now we know. And we know a druid is somehow involved. That troubles me.
What's the evergrowth?
As I understand it, this grove was deemed sacred by the early druids, but it was also out of balance. They shaped Ifra's laws into a spirit and gave that spirit dominion over the grove. It recognized that I was trying to help it, and reached out.
It also said the other druid is unbalanced in the true way.
Yes. But is that druid acting out of malice or ignorance? Either way, if the evergrowth succumbs, then the corruption will increase and spread out of control. We must take this news to the Circle Elders. Meet me in our village.
Alright, well, let's meet you in the village then.
Our village lies at the center of the grove. Once we get there, I will tell the Archdruid and the other elders what we learned.
Oh, do I need to know anything about this archdruid and the elders?
Not much to tell. Archdruid Agathy oversees our community here. A number of the village elders serve as her advisors and help train the younger aspirants and initiates in the true way. I'll introduce you to them once we get to the village.
Alright, cool. Altars and such.
Archdruid, elders, this outsider helped me. And the Evergrowth, it spoke through me.
The spirit of the grove? It hasn't manifested like that in many generations. Are you sure?
Druid Audrine has never given us reason to doubt her observations. Tell us, child, what did the spirit say?
It warned us that nature was out of balance. That a druid was responsible for this trouble.
Out of balance? That explains the corruption. But to blame a druid, I cannot accept that without proof.
Then we will find that proof. Friend, meet me at the Circle's ritual site.
The Elder?
Nature's spirits can be capricious, dangerous. The Evergrowth is no exception. Tread carefully, stranger. And don't allow young Audrine to toss around accusations she can't confirm.
Well, can you tell me about anything about the Evergrowth?
When the first druids of Stonelore discovered this sacred grove, the place had no spirit to nurture and protect it. So they prayed to Ifrei, and shaped his will to call forth the Evergrowth. They bound it to the grove to preserve its balance.
So you're keeping a spirit prisoner here?
If you look at it from a certain perspective, I suppose so. It was required until the spirit bonded with the land. And once that occurred, there was no reason to eliminate the bindings. But if the Evergrowth suffers, so does the grove.
Kind of sucks. You're brought here just to be a gardener.
Young Audrine makes a bold proclamation. While I believe the spirit of this grove spoke through her, I find it hard to imagine that one of our druids could be responsible for unbalancing nature. That goes against everything we believe.
What does Archdruid do exactly?
Mostly what you would expect. I oversee the druids that care for this grove and help train the novices in the true way. Elders Karek and Warrain advise me on matters related to my work.
Why don't you believe in Druid Ardain?
I have the utmost faith in young Audrine. What I do not trust
Audrine.
is the word of a capricious nature spirit. Go with Audrine. Get us proof that a druid is responsible for the corruption. Then we will take every action necessary to solve the problem.
Kind of weird. They believe they're druid, but they don't believe they're spirits. Like that's kind of the opposite, right? Elder?
I've tended this grove for nearly 50 years, and the Evergrowth has never spoken to me. Well, not directly, at any rate.
Ritual site. All right.
What?
I kind of want that job. Just like standing above lava with like two fires, like two torches in my hand.
The Circle Elders cannot accept that one of our own may be responsible for this disaster. And I could hear the doubt in their voices concerning the Evergrowth. We need to prove that one of our circle has caused this unbalance.
How do you want to proceed? Do we know it's part of your circle? You said it's a druid, but it doesn't mean it's your circle, right?
Help me investigate. Search the village for any signs that a druid is involved in the corruption. Look in the huts. Ask my fellow druids. Someone or something here will lead us to the source of the corruption. It has to.
And the Evergrowth?
We'll wait and see if it communicates with us again. If not, I have an idea. But let us try to find the druid responsible for this situation first. I want to determine if this was an accident or a deliberate and reckless act.
All right.
Well?
The search.
Seem like I'm getting much done here.
No Draga here. Why does this
Oh. Corrupted fetish. Maduric ritualistic fetish imbued with the same corruption that afflicted the Stonelore Grove.
That ritual fetish, it reeks of the same corruption spreading through the grove. I wonder who it belongs to.
No idea.
Hopefully we can find evidence that leads to the source of the corruption. Archdruid Agathy will never turn against one of our circle without absolute proof of recklessness.
All right.
No Draga here. Why does this make me happy?
Evergrowth restoration ritual. We call upon Euphrates to strengthen the bond between Evergrowth and our sacred grove. We call upon the god of song and forest to remove the bindings that tie our spirit to the hallowed land. We offer this sacrifice, O Euphrates, so that all may walk in the true way.
A ritual? That's proof that a druid caused this problem. Look, there's a mistake in the second line. They wrote remove instead of restore.
Somebody's making mistakes, maybe?
There's Druid Milo. He has the eyes of an eagle. If anyone around here saw anything, it would be him.
Yeah, eyes of an eagle, but
More to do.
not the greatest green thumb, but these are his plants.
Good gathering, stranger. I do not recognize you, but I know Druid Audrine very well. What may I do for you this day?
You know anything about the corruption spreading?
Nothing specific, I'm afraid. Just that the corrupted animals have made foraging in the grove dangerous. Oh, this might interest you. I felt a disturbance emanate from the wards in the Undergrove recently. Like a surge of power went through them.
The Undergrove. What about wards?
The island's volcanic vents create all sorts of underground spaces. The large cavern beneath us is the Undergrove. No one's allowed down there, not without the Archdruid's permission. The wards have something to do with the spirit of the grove.
You mean the Evergrowth?
Yes, the Evergrowth. I'm surprised you know that ancient designation. I believe the wards reinforce the spirit's connection to the grove, but I'm not an expert on that. I can sense them, though. I have an affinity for such things.
Thanks for the information.
The Undergrove? No one but the Archdruid ever goes down there. I glory in your every...
Coletta? Hello.
I see that Druid Audrine has brought us a visitor. What can I do for you today, traveler?
Do you know anything about the corruption spreading?
As a matter of fact, I noticed animals in the grove suffering from an affliction. I mentioned it to Archdruid Agathe, and she said she would look into it.
Thanks for the info.
When I spoke to the Archdruid, it seemed like that was the first she heard of the corruption in the grove.
Really?
I think we have everything we need to convince the Archdruid. Let's review what we discovered.
What do you make of the corrupted fetish we found?
Definitely a druidic ritual fetish. I use such accoutrement when conducting my own rituals. But this one bears the taint that afflicts the grove. This fetish must have been used in the ritual that released the corruption.
What about the restoration ritual?
Whoever scrawled this did so in haste. They made an obvious mistake in the middle verse. It should say restore, but the author wrote down remove. That alone would have disastrous effects when the ritual was performed.
And the two druids we spoke to? And what information did they give us?
Someone or something disturbed the wards in the Undergrove, probably when the ritual was performed. And it appears the Archdruid knew about the corruption before I mentioned it, but she acted like she knew nothing.
What's the purpose of these wards, then?
I don't know all the details, but from what I've been taught, the Evergrowth resides in the Undergrove. The wards connect it to the grove, but also bind it. We need to talk to the Archdruid. She's usually in the Northern Grove this time of day. I'll meet you in the northern part of the grove.
Is abusing their authority. Corrupted leaders.
The Archdruid? What? Oh no, she's spreading the corruption.
The All-Wither. It's inside me, forcing me to do as it bids.
Where did she go?
Speak with me, mortal. The spirit of the grove has need of you.
Okay. Hi.
We are the Evergrowth, one you sought, she carries the taint of our corruption. We remember her from the Undergrove. She performs a ritual that released this blight upon the land.
So this is the Archdruid's fault?
The Archdruid sought to renew our bindings, but the ancient spells had already frayed. The part of us that is the Allwither tricked her. She spoke the wrong word. Now, the Allwither is free to spread its corruption, and the entire grove is in danger.
So the Archdruid also mentioned the All-Weather. What is that?
The Allwither is a part of us, a spirit of nature, called forth and made manifest by the ancient druids. At this sacred grove, the laws of nature are malleable. To strengthen those laws, the druids bound us here. But nature consists of circles.
Circles?
At one end, life. At the other, death. We are both life-nurturing growth and all-withering decay. That part of us is now free. And once the corruption fully takes hold, the Evergrowth will be gone. Only the All-Wither will remain. Will you help us?
What do you need me to do?
Tell the druids what we have said. They summoned and bound us in the past. They must be able to do so again. But urge them to hurry. The corruption consumes us. Soon, we shall not be able to stave off the All-Weather.
Well, I'll get the druids then.
No matter how many times that happens, I am not sure I will ever get used to that. Return to the village, and tell the elders what the Evergrowth said. I'll join you momentarily.
I'm gonna get rid of this.
The Evergrowth implied that the Archdruid is as much a victim as it is. Its darker aspect, the Allwither, somehow broke free and is trying to fully emerge by consuming the grove in corruption. We need to warn the elders. I'll meet you in the village.
All right, well, we'll just leave that pile of corruption there for you. Enjoy. Whee!
Glad to see the Queen finally showed her backbone. The Duke deserved death.
Elder Karik, we have troubling news concerning the Archdruid.
Slow down, Audrine. Tell us what happened.
The Evergrowth confirmed she performed the binding ritual, but she made a mistake. She released the Allwither.
The Archdruid is responsible for the corruption? And she released the Allwither? Oh, the grove is doomed!
The Evergrowth is here and willing to help, in exchange for certain considerations.
Considerations? Uh-oh. Bargaining.
Archdruid has returned to the Undergrove. Even now, the Allwither compels her to speed up the spread of corruption so it can consume us. In our weakened state, we cannot stop the Allwither from becoming the prominent spirit of the grove.
You're gonna help us stop it though, right?
We can, but only if you and this druid break the remaining boards that bind us to this place. That will allow us to recover enough of our power to restore the balance and return the Allwither to its proper location in the circle.
Before you're asking us if the druids to restore the bindings, now you want us to break them?
The Allwither moves quickly. Already we can feel ourselves weakening, losing cohesion. The remaining shreds of our bindings have been corrupted and add to our pain. If you set us free, we can pull energy from the uncorrupted grove and aid you.
So without the wards to bind you, won't you just abandon it?
We are the spirit of the grove. We maintain the balance and keep the true way. We know our duty and our responsibility. Trust us. Together, we can end the corruption and return the grove to its natural state. But decide quickly. We do not have long.
Uh-oh.
Elders, allow us to enter the Undergrove and do as the Evergrowth asks. We can't let the Allwither become the dominant spirit.
For all we know, this is exactly what the Allwither wants us to do. But, yes, go. We'll do what we can up here to slow the spread of the corruption.
So what do you want to do?
The spirit wants us to enter the Undergrove and release its bindings. It claims that will allow it to overcome the Allwither. I sensed no duplicity while we were connected. I believe the Evergrowth spoke true of its intentions.
So how do we get into the Undergrove then?
The entrance I am aware of is in the northern part of the grove. I will meet you there. I have never been in the Undergrove, my friend. I have no idea what we might encounter down there. So be on your guard and ready for anything.
What do we do once we enter it?
We find the corrupted wards. I cleanse them and you break them, much as we did in the grove. After we deal with the initial wards, the Undergrove's central chamber should open, allowing us to destroy the last binding ward and set the spirit free.
All right. If you love something, you must set it free.
Magical wards bind the spirit to the grove. We need to find those wards, cleanse them, and destroy them.
Fighters.
I'll cleanse the wards, then you destroy them.
This is so much better than reading.
Is the natural end of all things.
Isn't that entropy?
Do not sense any additional wards out here. The central chamber should now
They're just gonna stare at it.
Let us go and set the spirit free.
Look at that. Full on pacifist run so far. Oh, we did kill that one Horror.
The final ward is somewhere in here. Find it and destroy it.
You have destroyed the corrupted wards, and our strength returns. Balance shall be restored.
Let's return to the village and tell the elders the good news.
We're just gonna leave the Archdruid here. All right, let's go. She's gonna be down there forever. We're not gonna bother like curing her. Hi.
Treasure?
Treasure.
the same. The All-Wither is back where it belongs, as a natural part of our circle. Balance has been restored.
Thank you, Spirit of the Grove. Adventurer, the Evergrowth wants to talk to you.
You and this druid have our thanks, mortal. You trusted us, and now the balance of nature has been restored.
Okay, what's going to happen to All-Wither now?
The All-Wither is a part of us, just as death is a part of life. Two parts of the same circle. They are back where they belong, in the natural order. And we are where we are needed, maintaining the balance of this sacred grove.
So the corruption's gone?
There may still be corrupted wildlife lingering about, but the druids can deal with that. Otherwise, know that the danger has passed. And know that we are grateful, mortal, for everything. May your harvest never falter.
The Evergrowth says the grove is safe now. It will continue to perform its sacred duty.
For now, I just hope we don't regret removing the binding wards. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Adventurer, may we speak?
Sure. Could we also talk about, like, why nobody is, like, mourning the Archdruid here? Your leader just, like, got corrupted and died, supposedly. No, we didn't kill her.
It's disappointing that the Archdruid tried to renew the wards on her own and allowed the All-Wither to take control of her. At least we were able to restore the Evergrowth and stop the spread of corruption.
Disappointing. Not sad. Not a tragedy. Disappointing. Help! What happens now, Audrey? Tell me.
Now? Now life returns to normal here in the Grove. Though without the binding wards, we may need to be more compassionate to the Evergrowth. We want it to stay happy. Oh, and before I forget, this is for you. From the Stone Lore Circle, with thanks.
You actually have to be nice to the spirit that you've been imprisoning here for years. Wonderful. Thank you.
In light of all that has happened, Audrine, we would like to make you a Circle Elder and Mediator with the Evergrowth.
Druid Audrine, an elder, and mediator to the... Oh, very well.
An elder? And the mediator? I don't know what to say.
I hope
Say no.
you say yes. You proved yourself and demonstrated a singular rapport with the spirit of the Grove. Will you take on these responsibilities?
Don't do it. Nope.
Yes.
No.
Of course.
Oh, you get suckered. You know why they want you to be mediator? Because they don't want to have that green stuff going into them and like sucking up their chest every time it like wants to talk. Got played.
Can you believe it? An elder? Me? And the mediator between the circle and the spirit of the Grove? Oh, this is such an honor.
So can we talk about what happens to Archdruid Agathe now?
That remains to be seen. She and the other druids who were afflicted with the corruption. We need to see if we can restore them. We'll get our best healers involved, and I'll consult with the Evergrowth. I guess that's my job now as mediator.
And what does the mediator do exactly, other than like channel the spirit of your Evergrowth?
I suppose I'll talk to the Evergrowth. Get it to help us renew the Grove and finish removing the last of the corruption. And if we can save the corrupted druids and the Archdruid, so much the better. I'll do whatever I can to help them.
Elder?
Stonelore Grove and our druidic circle are forever in your debt, adventurer. You will always be welcome in this sacred place.
Don't need to escape the law, I'll just come here.
I wonder if the Evergrowth will ever talk to me. I suppose I'll need to prove my worth. Maybe find a particularly pleasing tree to contemplate, or a spectacular blade of grass.
You go do that.
I should have come here sooner.
Dream, you got played. Enjoy!